1 minute.
Ready?
That's one cracker, 10 seconds. I'm not even done with it yet.
I feel like I might get to 4.
We're almost halfway.
Oh, really?
We're halfway.
I'm a bit of a competitor, so I'm trying to stay ahead of you. Oh boy.
Hitting the wall. Hitting the wall, right?
Go down.
They're all building up.
I feel like Joey Chestnut.
Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
This episode is brought to you by Visit Luzerne County. Craving a slice of excitement? Dive into the Visit Luzerne County Pizza Trail. Eat pizza, earn points, and turn those points into prizes. It's simple. Sign up for free at visitluzernecounty.com to get started. No apps, no hassle, just savory rewards. Check in with the partner restaurants to rack up points with every delicious slice. The best part? Those points unlock awesome pizza-themed prizes. Where else can you eat pizza and earn rewards? Sign up for free today at visitluzernecounty.com and let the pizza party begin. This episode is brought to you by Dino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant. Craving authentic Italian flavor? Meet Dino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, your taste bud's new best friend in Wilkes-Barre. From premium pizzas to mouth-watering pastas, every bite is a slice of heaven. Family owned and operated for 2 generations, Dino's is proud to serve you with passion and tradition. Conveniently located inside the Wyoming Valley Mall, Dino's is open daily for dine-in or takeout. Don't feel like leaving home? No problem. Have it delivered right to your doorstep by ordering online at dinospizzaandrestaurant.com or on DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, and Slice. Dine in, order online, or call 570-829-2601. Taste your tradition at Dino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant today. Welcome to Food Fight, presented by Good Tree MMA. I'm here with my friend Jim Mirabelli from NEPA Pizza Review. Jim, I absolutely had to have you here to be my first guest, and we'll get to that in a couple minutes. But Jim, welcome to Food Fight.
I'll tell you what, it's quite an honor to be on the ground floor of this ground-shaking, earth-shattering show here. So it's quite an honor to be with you, and I look forward to what you're going to bring to NEPA and beyond. Really excited to be a part of the show. So thank you.
I appreciate that, man. I'm glad that we collaborate together and we're not enemies on the Facebook like some people expect us to be, or like, who's this guy doing this review and stuff like that. So, you've been actually guiding me along for a while now. And real quick, I have merch envy because your merchandise is fantastic. Your shirts, your hats. I don't have any. I don't even have any of my own merchandise except for one shirt I have, but you did bring me holiday sweater, which is, look at that sweatshirt. That's really nice. So thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, a little late here, but so I always enjoyed making one of those up every year. So
that's absolutely perfect, man. I really appreciate that. So when I get some shirts made and some stuff made, I'll send some your way.
Sounds
all right,
good,
bro?
Wear it proudly for sure.
Absolutely, man. So like I said earlier, I wanted you to be my first guest because when I first started my food page on Facebook, it was called DiMattia's NEPA Pizza Review. DiMattia's NEPA Food Review. And it just seemed like the NEP name. And for me, it was like, because that was already in your name, you're doing your pizza thing, and I'm doing pizza reviews too. And I wasn't trying to copy anyone. I was trying to do my own thing. And I want to do other stuff. But I remember I made a post of it, something that wasn't in NEPA. And someone got at me like, oh, this is why I don't like pages like this, because this is outside of NEPA. And I'm like, all right, I guess I know where he's coming from. But then I remember talking to you and a few other guys, and you suggested Food Fight. And I was just like, immediately, I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? What made you come up with that for me? Which I appreciate that, man, because now we're sitting here on our first episode of the Food Fight podcast.
So it was really neat because I came across you. Well, first, I follow every local page I can imagine. Any restaurant I'm aware of, I follow. Any local news, anything like that, I follow. But as soon as you posted your first video, I think I got like 10 messages saying like, this guy's stepping on your territory and like, who's this guy? We got to get him out of here. And I was like, no, first of all, I love all local food reviews, and anybody that wants to get in there and put yourself in front of a camera and put yourself out there to provide your opinion. Like, I respect that, because like you got to have some thick skin to do what we do, right?
Yeah.
So then, I watched a little of your stuff, and the one video that I always tell people about is you were like getting choked out on the octagon mat and tapping out, but you're still eating the pizza. And I remember being in tears. And I don't think we were talking yet when you. And so then we sort of linked up and talked a little bit. And I thought, like, you have such charisma and you're such a character, right? It can't have an EPA, really. Like, you're big, like. I'm more like I established NEPA early on, right?
Yeah.
So I don't own NEPA, first of all. It's just NEPA Pizza Review. But like, I just felt that for you to limit yourself to a geographic location would have been a mistake, because I really see something in you that you're going to be big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And your personality is so unique and so big. And I thought, you had that cage fighting video. Every time I see it, I think
hysterical. Yeah.
It's just the funniest thing and
he put that choke on harder than I wanted him to, but it worked out really well, because I was eating the pizza, choking on it, and tapping at the same time.
And I was in tears. And I wasn't in pain. I was just in tears laughing, because it was a great video. And I said, well, this guy has like this, not an alter ego, but like, that's who you are. Like, you are a personal trainer, you're a cage fighter, you do all this, so why not bring them both together? It just made so much sense. It was so clear to me to recommend, and you were just on it right away.
I appreciate that, man. To clear the air, I do not fight in the cage. I train in the cage with the fighters that do fight in the cage. I'm more jiu-jitsu. I'm more like, I'll get in the cage on a Saturday morning with those guys and mix up for about an hour, but they take it easy on me. They do. It's, if I wasn't 42, if I was 32 or 22, and I started training like this in jiu-jitsu at Good Tree MMA, cage fighting would have been something I probably would have did. But I'm older now, and it's just not something I would be able to train for, be interested in doing. I'd be interested in doing it, but it's too much right now. You know what I mean? But those guys and girls that we have on our rosters, they really get at it, and I admire what they do and the work that they put into, and the trainers as well. Mm-hmm. Maybe we get you in for a free class one of these days.
I gotta do some laps,
because I haven't
around the house a few times before I get there.
I haven't done a pizza after jiu-jitsu video in a while. That's what you were talking about. Those guys were training for a fight, and it was funny is Hunter, who put me in the chokehold, he's one of my good friends. He's one of our active fighters. He was getting ready for a fight that weekend, and he couldn't eat the pizza. So he smelled the pizza, did the review with me, but him and Jesse, they couldn't eat the pizza, which is hysterical. So
again, I bring it up all the time to people. Oh, you see him? I was like, yeah, but go watch that video.
Absolutely,
that was great.
I appreciate that.
Obviously,
man.
You've made a lot of other great stuff since then, but
come a long way. But we'll get into that. But I want to ask you. I know a little bit about your first review. Like you put like a brief story, but like tell my audience and tell myself, what was your first review? How did it go? Why did you want to do it? What made you do it? And then how have you progressed from there?
So my first review, I thought would be in the pizza capital of the world, right? Old Fort, right?
My hometown.
You know it
my
well.
hometown, absolutely.
And, I remember I went to Arcaro and Janelle's, and at the time, I think my smartphone broke, and I had a little like clamshell flip phone at the time. And I had no idea what I was doing. I got into this because I wanted to just stay in touch with pizza. Like I've worked in pizzerias for a decade through high school and college. And I said, I want to stay in touch with it somehow. So I decided I was going to go try different pizza places and write about it. And blogging was not like a sexy thing to do at the time. So I was anonymous about it. Like I just kind of went on, said whatever I said, and be done. But I remember it being the most awkward thing in the world. I wasn't on camera yet. And I remember thinking like, oh geez, I'm, taking horrible.
Everybody's staring at me.
Yeah. I honestly, I still feel that way. I still feel awkward every time, I did a pizza review on the way here. I still felt terribly awkward.
You feel comfortable, but awkward at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel comfortable because I don't take myself seriously. And like I always say, I'm a one-take guy. Like what you see is what you get. People always let me know when I mess up. Well, that's part of
sure they do.
What you see is what you get. I try to be authentic as possible. But back to the first review, I just remember it just being this kind of mechanical, trying to figure out what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And the pictures were horrible. The pizza was very good. Right? The pictures were horrible. My writing was just deplorable. It was terrible. But I posted this and I liked it. And it wasn't for anybody else. I never set out to have anyone read it. I didn't it sounds dumb. I'm going to push this out to the public, but I never had this sense of I'm going to do this so that other people know about it. It was just kind of like this personal diary thing that I would publish online.
Okay.
And then I did it again, and I did it again. I loved it, and the writing was horrible. I'm not proud of those early days. I look back on some of them because I have them in like a stored file, but just terrible. I was like, "What are you thinking?" So I look back and I say, "That's just not good." But you learn every experience one after the other. Right. And then, you learn about what people want to know about, like talking about pizza sauce, right? Mm-hmm. Like they want to know, is it smooth or chunky? Is it sweet? Is it savory? What is it? Does it have onions in it? Heaven forbid for some people, right? And that's a bit of a challenge, I think, to like accurately describe, particularly when you're live on camera, the sauce in particular, right? Or people want you to guess the cheese, right?
Jim, I mentioned to you earlier that I was going to ask you, how do I describe the sauce? And it's just tomato sauce. There's some seasoning in it, but I always say like the same generic thing, like, oh, it's savory, it has salt and pepper in it. I just get past it.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm kind of on a, I don't want to say scientific level because I make so much pizza at home and I experiment. Like I've tasted 75 different tomatoes and rated them. So I kind of know like a California tomato from a San Marzano tomato and what, we have a lot of California and Jersey tomatoes around here that we use. California's a little bit sweeter. Jersey has that little tang to it and that like almost little grittiness with the seeds to it, which is, Don Pepino. That's a Jersey sauce. And you can always kind of pick that out. But people aren't so much interested in where the tomatoes come from. I really learn how to describe to my readers in a way that they ask for, right? So 12 years of doing this, they want to know those things. Sweet, is it spicy? Like, that's too hot. I'm clearing my throat when I'm eating it. There's black pepper in it.
Okay.
So you want to point those things out, right? But my followers are not the same as yours, though. So they might be looking for something different, right?
I'm not saying my followers are looking for a sauce. I feel like I need to involve better and give more details on my reviews because I'm just a pizza lover. Never really made pizza. Family owned a little pizza place years ago in Duryea for a little while, but made some Old Forge pizza. But I never made dough. I make sauce all the time. You know what I mean? So I know I put my sauce. When it comes to describing the food in general, it's just like, oh, this pizza's great. The cheese on there is fantastic. I show the crust more. People are really into the crust, but I feel like I could describe it more. But then again, maybe I'm overthinking. And
I think you might be overthinking, right? Because you think about it, Portnoy is one of the most. He's obviously the most famous pizza reviewer in the world. He doesn't really talk much about sauce or anything.
Almost zero detail.
Right? They don't care. He tells you what the flop's like and he gives you a score. We move on.
Yeah.
But people watch that, right? He speaks to a certain demographic that understands it and knows that if it hits a certain number, you're going to drive there.
Right.
Now, my audience is extremely different from that audience, right? So they're looking for a vanilla, safe, PG.
Okay.
So I understand my audience. I understand myself, and I know what I can describe. So I think it's more important not to describe sauce or cheese or dough in a way that you think it should be described. It's how are you feeling about it when you eat it, right?
Okay,
what's the first impression you get? Because people want to know about how you feel. They don't follow you for the pizza you're trying. They're following for your opinion on the pizza, right?
Yeah.
So it's important for you to let people know how you feel about it, not how you think you should describe it.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So that's why I follow you, because you're uniquely you. There's nobody else like you on there, even though I see the comments. It's all been done before. I get them too.
Yeah, like I said to you earlier, people think that food reviews are a new thing in this world. I said, we were cracking up earlier. Like I said, Middle Ages with these little bars, these little taverns back in the day. There's probably doing stew reviews and ale reviews from the bottle. You know what I mean? People were probably doing reviews from the dawn of time. Like Adam and Eve were reviewing the apple they ate, probably. It's a good apple. You know what I mean? It was an apple they ate, right?
There have always been influencers throughout our lifetime,
yes.
right? But it's just throughout history. It's just a matter of now the spotlight is turned up because of phones and social media and like just instant access to get it out. I mean, I can get a video out conceivably if I'm really focused within an hour of taking a bite. Right?
Absolutely, man. If you you take the bite, go back in your car and put the video together and release it. You know what I mean? Absolutely. It's definitely a lot easier. And the point I was going to make, didn't know that was going to go. So let's keep going. What we're talking about, right? So it's this like the reviews, everybody does them. It's just a matter of you got to keep doing it. Your first review, you said you didn't like it, but you kept on going. So what was your second review like?
It was probably just as bad.
Okay.
It was just as bad. So like I just kept going, and like I said, I never had a plan for this. I never thought that I'd get any followers. My mom was my only follower at one point. And she didn't even know I was doing it. Right.
Was it always NEPA Pizza Review, or did it start? Okay, so that was your original thing.
I just named it that, and again at the beginning I was anonymous, right? But I learned, people are telling me you gotta do videos. You gotta do, and I said, boy, I'm face for radio. I'm not, like my voice to me, when I'm hearing my voice in these headphones, it's just a ghastly sound.
Your voice brings me into your videos, just so you know, like you're opening, it's like, I want to see the pizza too, but your voice like brings me into your videos.
Well, I'm happy that somebody like I want to jam a pencil in my ear right now because it's just a horrific sound for me. So I actually, aside from editing my videos, I don't watch them. Like I'm done with that's it. As soon as I post it, it's gone. If I make a mistake, people will tell me I made a mistake.
They let you know.
But like I just really don't like seeing myself or hearing myself. But I understand it is the way people want to consume reviews and information. So show them the pizza, but horrible photography. Like I didn't even know. I would just take my phone and aim it straight down. It'd be these flat, awful looking images.
I have a few of those.
Yeah. Dark restaurants.
Yeah. No lighting.
No lighting.
And you're like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's good.
No problem. It's great. You can barely see the pepperoni on it.
But you don't care, right?
Yeah.
So but the great thing about doing what we're doing is like the skills that we come up with. Like I've learned how to I wouldn't call myself a photographer, but I know how to produce something, with a couple little tools that looks like a reasonably professional looking photo. I also don't shoot to make them look professional because I want people to see and expect what they're going to get.
Absolutely.
When they get there.
No, like the lighting is important because you want to show the pizza on its best light. You want to get it to look like, because you can see pizza, right in front of your face compared to a picture. Looks bad in the picture, but looks great in real life. So you got to find that happy medium with that. I feel like the close-ups at the angles are like the best thing. People want to see that. Like I said, they want to see that picture, and they want to see it look like that when they order it. Absolutely.
Exactly. I follow a lot of places on Facebook and Instagram, and they promote their pizza daily. And I'm like, I have had your pizza in person. It looks way better than what you're putting.
You read my mind, because a lot of photos on people's pages are no bueno. They don't look good.
They're horrible. They look really, really bad. But then there's some that pay for professionals, and there's this expectation up there when you go in, and then you get something that, still looks pretty good.
But not what you saw in the picture.
Right? People don't want that.
Kind of like the Big Mac and the Whopper.
Yeah.
But that's Burger King and McDonald's, and that's their thing. You're not going to get that when you go there. But when it comes to pizza, local, place down the street, only made in one spot, you want it to look like what you saw online. I hear you.
That's it. And I find if you exaggerate or you misinform people, your reputation takes a hit. So you can exaggerate by using Photoshop or filters.
Exactly.
And I don't use filters. I don't even know how to open Photoshop.
Is that even still a thing, Photoshop?
I think you can make a lot of money if you know how to use Photoshop.
Yeah, that's great.
But I don't. I had the program several times. I just don't know even.
Just figure there's filters on everything now.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I was going to say before, I remember what I was going to say before, what has me, because I want to know about where your passion for pizza and food came. My passion for food came because I worked in the restaurant business like over 20 years. So to have that still be part of my life now is what drives me to keep my page going and doing what I'm doing. And now we're doing this now because I am passionate about food. I'm passionate about the industry. And another topic I want to get into is how neither one of us throw any throw any shade on anybody, any pizza places, because I have pizza reviews that I've done that I just didn't care for the pizza. It wasn't my flavor. And I'm like, no one needs to know about that. Because just because I don't like the pizza doesn't mean the other hundreds of thousands of people in the area don't like the pizza. And like, it's not my place to give a bad review. What's your opinion on that?
So, we were talking about early reviews, and I just assumed nobody was looking. And when I say I'm not proud of a review, I mean the writing was terrible, the structure was terrible, but I also mean I said some real dumb stuff that, just like it doesn't need to be out. It didn't need to be said.
Mean stuff, like not mean, but like
I wrote, originally some things that would be construed as negative. Yes. Okay. So it was like a little more snappy and like, not really thoughtfully said. And again, I never thought anybody would be looking, right, or caring, because it wasn't for people. It was for me. Mm-hmm. And it was just a nice outlet. But I quickly learned, though, that people were looking, and I got some feedback, and I said, oh, wait a second. That if this person read it that way, then, I got to pivot. Yeah. And there was actually one time that it really, this is a cool story I like to tell, is a place, there was Basilico's. It was in Clark Summit. Basilico's is like the OG, brought real like good New York style grandma pizza here, and popularized grandma pizza, in my opinion. Well, that location got bought out by Rosario's, and I had a really strong place in my heart for Basilico's.
Sure you did.
So when I go into Rosario's, I have this predetermined notion that I'm going to get something of Basilico's, that I would eat it 3 to 5 times a week, So I go in, and I went on like an off time. That's something I do often because I just like to, not a big crowd person, So I got like a pretty lackluster slaw. It's probably a few hours old. This is like 11 years ago, okay. I'm going to say. And so I wrote, it wasn't like a bad review or anything like that. It was like a vanilla, wish it was a little bit fresher type of thing, whatever it was. I don't remember exactly. I get an email a day or two later from the owner, and I was like, oh no, because you can't read tone in an email.
I understand, right? Yeah.
So he's like, how about you come in and we talk about it? And I was reading it almost as like ominous, like, oh boy, this is the end of my pizza.
This guy's going to take me out in the back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, but we did go in the back of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And we sat down, and he's like, I explained to me why my review was a problem for him. And I said, okay. And I was like, you're right. Yeah, I did come in at 2:30 in between lunch and dinner, and the guy rushed it in and out of the oven. I get it. Yeah. So it wasn't representative of the product you sell. But we ended up having this conversation about life, and we worked at the same places over the years. I worked in pizzerias myself for about a decade, and we knew a bunch of the same people. I ended up knowing his brother from another pizza.
Oh, I love it.
And lo and behold, we became friends.
A lot of friendships happen that way.
Right, yeah. But it started with this, like, I was terrified.
Yeah, I know.
But great guy. And now, but of course it's my favorite.
That's your spot now,
That's
right?
my spot, and has been for quite some time now. But yeah, so, you never know where these reviews will land. Yeah. And, you gain so many relationships over there.
When we were at Rosario's, remember when we're doing our collab, I didn't have the regular pizza. I had that big, was it
eggplant?
Oh my God, it was like this big. That was the first time I tried to shoot. We're in the jacket. We're doing the food fight, the newscast, everything like that. You did the over at Gio's Pizza. You're like, oh hey Brian, like the special guest correspondent. I posted it. I was so excited to post it. My first review got like 1,000 views. I was just like, why is everybody watching it? And I got a little discouraged. I was like, the new name. I had Jim on there, like my first guy they're seeing on there, and it's only got 1,000 views. But things came a long way from that. I learned, like you were saying earlier, you learn what your viewers want more and more, and I'm still learning that now. Mm-hmm. I'm still learning that now, and it's really, really exciting. So I know that some of your reviewers, some of your fans, there's a little bit of controversy with your top 10 NEPA. So to be fair, as I was reading it, and I remember jumping into the comments because I'm going to dive right in. You didn't say my top 10 NEPA pizza review for the year. You said NEPA's pizza reviews, top 10 pizzas.
Well, I said Jim Mirabelli's top 10 pizzas I ate.
Pardon me, yeah. So, I mean, you are out of the area a lot. So why would you, and you like pizza, you like reviews. I mean, why would you not do pizza reviews outside of the area? So what if NEP is in your name? You do a lot for this area and everything like that. You're out of the area, down in Philly or wherever you are, do pizza reviews. I do the same thing. I did reviews in Vegas. It was $17 for a slice of pizza. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So what brought that on? How did it make you feel? How do you feel about it now?
So I don't like doing top 10s. I don't like doing rankings. I don't like doing scores on my videos because I feel like it falsely implies that one place is better than another. And I think it spurs negative debate. Like it's inherently negative, right? This person wasn't on, or this pizza place wasn't on the list, and this one should have been ranked higher than that one. Everyone tends to say negative things about those on the list and tells you it's a great way to get a lot of clicks and a great way to get a lot of reactions.
Right.
I don't like to do it. Now I get asked at least weekly to give me top 10s. And I said, send me a private message. I'll give you my top 5, and everyone, okay, good. Mm-hmm. And we don't debate because we can have a conversation about it. And like, they'll tell me who they like, it. But Facebook land in particular just has this way about it where if one troll comes in, then their friends get notified that they commented, and then all these people pile on. And now, I love the haters, right? Mm-hmm. I really like creative haters who are thoughtful and like really get to it. You know what I mean? So I enjoy that stuff. Like some guy the other day told me my pizza looked like it was a self-rising crust grocery store pizza, and it made my day. But it was one of the
little DiGiorno's.
But it was like this beautiful Neapolitan. It was one of my most like proud pizzas that I made. And
you make some good pizzas, bro.
I make some really bad ones too, but like. This guy took the time to really characterize it and thought about it. And I was like, you know what? Comment of the day. I shared it, But like, so this top 10 list predictably went south, right? There was support for it, but I understand why people were mad. The name of my page, NEPA Pizza Review, and I named 3 out of the top 4 were from Philadelphia.
So they wanted, not to interrupt, they wanted a top 10 NEPA list for the year.
That's what they want.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And some of them probably read it that way.
They did.
And then got into the comments because they read it wrong. Either they read it wrong, then saw other places, got pissed off at both of them. This episode is brought to you by Genoa Wholesale Foods, a family-owned pizza and restaurant supply company located in northeastern Pennsylvania. Genoa carries over 500 different products and provides services to hundreds of pizzerias, restaurants, delis, and taverns. Tomato products, cheeses, flour, spices, poultry, meats, pastas, appetizers, oils, paper products, pizza boxes, you name it, Genoa has got you covered. Call Genoa today at 570-823-6142 or visit them online at genoafoods.com. Again, that's 570-823-6142 or GENOAFOODS.com. Genoa Wholesale Foods, servicing the pizza and restaurant industry since 1947. This episode is brought to you by T-Shirts and 24. With over 60 years of experience in screen printing, T-Shirts and 24 provides screen and digital printing on almost any apparel, as well as promotional items. No order is too large or small. Easy to design your own custom apparel online using their free online design tool. They offer pickup options to most regions in Northeast Pennsylvania. Plus, they offer nationwide shipping, and if time is crucial, opt for the 24-hour turnaround and same-day shipping options. Call T-Shirts and 24 today at 570-471-7588 or visit them online at tshirtsand24.com. Either they read it wrong, then saw other places, got pissed off at both of them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. No, and look, I understand where they're coming from. Most people don't read the title, and most people just scroll quickly. They didn't read my rationale.
It's a big problem in the world today.
Yeah, they're not big on it, right? And I don't feel like I'm that important that you should stop and read every word that I wrote either. So I understand why people are angry.
Okay,
right?
That's fair.
It was just the copy and paste, like this, take away this guy's residency. He doesn't live here. He's not from here. And it's like, But like you see the same
see
carbon comment, and I got a few very choice ones in the messages too.
Oh, really? Private messages?
Yeah,
really?
I can't say that on this program.
I bet.
But people were so upset, and and I was getting irritated. Usually nothing bothers me, but like when you see the same carbon copy comment, like I'm introspective, right? So I understand where people are coming from. I disagree with them because I wanted to tell you what my 2023 was like and what pizza experiences I had, and here were the top 10 pizza experiences I had. That's what I wanted to share.
Yeah.
People say your name's NEPA. Everything you do should be NEPA, right? So what are my choices? Change my name to either
Pizza Review, Jim's Pizza Reviews.
Right?
Yeah.
And I say, no, I'm not going to do that. I built this brand here. Yeah. It wasn't anyone else's blood, sweat, and tears that did this for 12 years.
Right.
And it may look like fun, as you know, on camera for the 60 seconds, but it's a lot of work.
There is work into it.
I don't know how many tens of thousands of hours I probably put into it, but it's like every day, and you don't know how many seconds add up to something. And so I say, usually I take the feedback and I adapt, but I said, hard no. I'm NEPA Pizza Review. I'm Jim Mirabelli. I get to say what's on my page, and I ate these pizzas, and I'm going to tell you what I set out to tell you was the 10 best pizzas I ate in 2023.
Absolutely, bro.
And that's it.
I looked at every one of them. They all looked really good. They all looked great.
Yeah, and that's it.
There's not too many bad pizzas in the area.
No, I think I had 150 or so pizzas last year, and I mean, I would say at least 30 to 40% of them deserve to be on a top 10 list.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of like 7.5s in there. That's like a above average type pizza for me. That's like kind of my middle ground. And then people get upset that I don't give bad reviews, right? Yeah. Do you get that?
Yeah. People ask me, they're like, why don't you post it? Oh, you like everything. Why don't you post a bad review? They think I'm lying about it. Like, oh, you're only posting that to get this and that. I'm like, no, if I posted a pizza and I trashed it, people would love it. I posted a picture of a Dunkin' Donuts coffee that I bought for my fiance, Shannon. Hey, Shannon, I love you. But I bought her, one of my biggest supporters, by the way, my biggest supporters this whole last year. I bought her, I was going to bring her a coffee to work. It was a medium coffee with oat milk. That's it. It was $4.18. It was $3.18 3-4 months ago. I know for a fact it was. I would go there once in a blue moon. I usually make her coffee and bring it to the work for her. But I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. I was over there on $3.15. And I know maybe it wasn't $3.18, but it was significantly cheaper about a few months ago. So I'm in the drive-thru. I get it. I post a picture of it. I'm my clown world. $4.18 for a cup of coffee with some oat milk in it. 2.5 million people saw that post because I wasn't even blasting the coffee. That's what the coffee looks like. It's oat milk and black coffee. It's going to look like that, right? People thought I was blasting the coffee. I wasn't blasting the coffee. I was blasting the price. And then somebody in the comments told me that, pretty much insulted me and told me he was disappointed in me because a few days earlier, I posted a picture of the Dunkin' Donut holes because someone from our school, kids brought them in for a birthday. So I took a picture of the donut. I'm like, I could eat 1,000 of these donut holes. They're amazing. He was like, either you're blasting it or you're liking it. I'm like, I'm liking the donuts and now I'm blasting the coffee price. So I could have both. One, I mean, don't look at it if you don't like it. What are you getting all fired up? What are you coming in there? Comments like it was like a paragraph, like getting fired up over me. Oh, it's locally owned businesses too. I'm like, I understand that local people own Dunkin' Donuts, but me, the $4.18 for a cup of coffee, give me a break, man. Show me the numbers on. Show me the food costs on why oat milk costs extra. Oat milk does not cost that much extra. It does cost extra than regular milk, not that much. Anyways, I'm getting all fired up. But the point you made, I'm sorry, Jim. The point you made was our pages will grow more if we did that.
Oh, negativity sells. Man.
Yeah, but I don't want that in my life.
I'm not into it. I'm not into clickbaiting or, all these things can get you more followers, more likes, more comments. But I'm not into that. I'd rather just be authentic, tell people what I say. But here's what I say about negative reviews, right? So when people say, you have to post negative reviews. One, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And no, I won't. But two, they imply that you're dishonest for being positive. And that is blatantly, absolutely false, right? Because one thing they don't take into consideration is we're not taking a random sample of any pizza or any coffee or any donut holes. We are getting feedback on a daily basis from our followers who tell us where to go. And we have reliable people that we know, we trust their palates, and we know that there's a very good likelihood that when we go visit this place, it's going to be good.
Correct.
Right?
I agree.
Not random. And you know what? We'll go back to Portnoy again. He has an app that has millions of user reviews on it, and he goes where the app says are the best pizzas. Right? So we're just small timers, and we get our feedback direct from our fans, right? From our followers. And they tell us where to go. So I'm showing up. There's going to be a good likelihood of doing it. If on the off chance I have a bad pizza, I probably had 3 bad ones this past year. And that was largely because I was just out somewhere, wanted to grab it.
Very small number.
Yeah. But like I was just somewhere and I was like, oh, there's a pizza place across the street. Rando, never heard of it. Not good.
It probably wasn't even that horrible, but not good. There's you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, like
I'll eat any pizza you put in front of me.
Oh, absolutely.
I might not go back for seconds.
Right.
I'm gonna eat it though.
Right. Well, I tried it. You know, you shoot your intro video, you do your thing, whatever, and then it's like I just stopped filming because I know for sure this is not something that I'm going to recommend to my audience.
Yeah, it's no good.
It stinks because you waste the money, you consume the carbs. You know, I didn't waste the gas because I was already there, but you know what I mean, like that type of thing. But that doesn't see the light of day on my page.
Me neither.
You know?
Yeah, I understand.
What's the point? And my other philosophy is like bad pizza will weed itself out of the market, or I don't understand the market, right? So like. Was like the Midwest is just all Domino's, Papa John's, and a lot of places.
That's where it all started.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut, Domino's.
But like, and what? That's okay. If that's good pizza to them, that's fine.
I'm an 11 p.m. Domino's order. We just ordered a thin crust last week. It was free pizza day.
Oh yeah.
On the app. Every once in a while, you get on the app, you break the glass on the app, and you get a free pizza.
Oh, that's cool.
We got a 12-inch thin crust. I added like sausage. I like the Supreme style. So we got sausage, pepperoni, onions, peppers, black olives. Think I'm missing something? $4.50.
I mean,
I give the driver $5 or $5.50 for the pizza. Can't beat that. 11 o'clock at night. People at night post it. People are like, "Oh, there's so many great pizza places in the area. Why are you buying that crap?" Show me where I could get some NEPA style pizza or some New York style pizza or some fried pizza at 11 p.m. delivered, and I'll call that place. They don't exist. They have, like you said, they have their place.
Absolutely.
They have their place.
Domino's is selling convenience.
The pan pizza is good.
Yeah, they're selling. It's like they don't compete with the locals.
They don't have to. They don't have to.
They're selling a whole different service. You want it fast. You want it relatively cheap. You want to know exactly what you're going to get every single time.
It's almost the same every single time.
That's fine.
Yeah,
it's boring to me, but like we still order it too. Yeah. You know, you don't see me post about it, but
I hear you.
It's fine.
But it has its place in the market. Absolutely has its place in the market.
And obviously, they do very well in every market. Right? Although Papa John's didn't seem to do too well here.
There used to be one. The only one there was only 2 I remember being. One in Pittston. That's now a Domino's by the bridge.
Okay.
That used to be Papa John's. I'm almost certain. Like Burger King's here, and then Papa John's right by the bridge is Domino's now. Up the street from the old seafood restaurant that used to be there, Cooper's. Remember Cooper's Pittston?
Yep.
So up the street from there on the corner, that definitely used to be a Papa John's. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And then it seems like there used to be one in Wilkes-Barre on Township Boulevard, maybe because the awning is still there. It looks just like Papa John's, but it's another pizza place now. Like it'd be a coincidence if they like hung up the same awning, but I don't really know if anybody knows about Papa John's in the area. Are you familiar with them when they used to be here? When was it?
I think there was one in like maybe it was Scranton, maybe it was Music. I'm not. I remember ordering it when I was in a hotel in Scranton at one point.
Okay.
And I remember you get the peppercini and the garlic sauce. It's pretty neat.
Pretty. I haven't had Papa John's and I don't remember. Maybe more like going away somewhere. I had Papa John's, but usually it's Domino's. Pizza Hut's not really my thing right now, but Domino's is 11:30 at night. You get some Domino's. You get those brownies. You got those little chocolate cakes.
Oh wow!
Holy shit!
Are they good?
Ridiculous.
I haven't dabbled.
You ever see them though?
No.
They're like Domino's has these little there's 3 little chocolate cakes, and there's like fudge inside them. So they go like a lava cake. My teeth hurt after it. There's so much sugar. My teeth would just hurt after that. But the pizza, like I said, 11 o'clock at night is really good. So let's get off the pizza subject real fast.
Okay.
Tell me about these crab cakes. What's the name of the place where they sell these at this gas station? Crab cakes. I see crab cakes. I see fish and chips all the time. I saw you do a review on the crab cake. And tell me about that crab cake.
So, people give me recommendations for more than pizza, right? So
Okay.
I hear about this stuff all the time. Plus, I'm in that Food of NEPA group.
Yeah,
I
me
think you're
too.
in there
Great group. Great group.
And people kept talking about for a couple of years, like gas station crab cakes. I'm like, ridiculous.
Immediately
No.
you hear gas station, you think it's going to be like the middle of nowhere. You're going to get food poisoning and die. That's
Yeah.
what you think immediately.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that because I know some gas stations have some good food around here.
At the time,
You definitely
I was scared. I was terrified, right? So I was like, wow, like a gas station crab cake. What does that look like? No, sheets are pretty clean, but there was never any indication that this was like a Sheets or a Wawa. It was like, it's gas. They ever just said gas station crab
Wawa's
cakes?
greater than Sheets.
I don't enjoy Sheets food.
Me
I
neither.
can tolerate Wawa food. So
We're getting a Wawa.
I'm with you. I'll take that.
We're getting one down in Wilkes-Barre down there.
Oh, good.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's good competition. So anyway, I forget what I was. I think I was driving out that way. The place is called Lehman Sitco
That's right.
Crab Cakes or something. Lehman Sitco Express. And I was on my way out there. I forget what I was doing out that way, but I was on my way and I caught the banner out in the driveway. It said crab cakes. I was like, that's an actual gas station. It's like the gas station that I pictured from it's like, it looks like just not a dirty gas.
I understand.
Like a gas station. It was just a literal gas station, like convenient mart looking. I think it was Sitco, right?
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I noted that. And I was, wherever I went, I forget. And then I was on my way back and I saw it again. It was like this angelic light over it. I said, here we go. We're going to go try the crab cakes. I'm thinking, just no way they're that good, right? Like It can't be. It's a gas station. It must be just the locals telling it. So I stop in there and they had Delos pizza from Berwick in the thing. So I got to try that. And then I selected my crab cake, kind of like when you go in the Roadhouse and you pick your steak out. I was like, can I have that? And then I thought I was going to have to take it home, but she's like, do you want me to cook it for you? So they fry it right there.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, wow, that's a big crab cake.
How much did that crab cake cost?
It was in the $15, $16
So you
range.
get one cake, $15?
Yeah, it was like
It looked really good. It looked like it was full of clump crab meat in there.
It had to be, was that like a 16-ounce can they usually say? It had to be half a can of it.
Oh, wow.
It was mostly crab. It was
That's
like,
amazing.
So yeah, I take it out in the parking lot and I take it, and I was like, oh, I understood immediately. It was unbelievable. It was euphoric. It was.
I got to try it.
It was.
I love crab cakes.
I would pay $25 for one crab cake.
I love crab cakes. Reason I remembered that, when I always see them post about it. But I was at Aldi's this morning doing some food shopping, and they had frozen crab cakes for $5. I bought them. There's 5 of them in there. There's regular crab meat in there, and there's imitation crab meat in there. But for $5, Aldi's usually has some pretty good. Aldi's has pretty good food for frozen stuff, like their frozen potatoes, tater tots. They even had the Burger King hash browns, the little small circles. Air fryer, 15 minutes, 3 shakes. 1 shake after 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes you lose shake. Then the last shake, salt and pepper. It's gonna make a mess in the air fryer, but it's worth it though.
Oh yeah.
Salt and pepper, shake them up, look up, and they get extra crispy. The tater tots they're so good.
Love tater tots.
French fries, dude. The air fryer. I make everything in the air fryer.
It's great.
So I reheat my pizza up in the air fryer. How do you feel about reheating pizza up in an air fryer?
Me, I'm I'm a huge air fryer guy. Actually, I have another channel where I review kitchen appliances, and I reviewed like 7 air fryers already.
Oh,
so I'm
really
somewhat of an expert on air fryers, which is, that's something different. But I do product reviews for Amazon also.
Okay.
But that's largely how I fund my pizza habit.
Nice.
Right? So anyway, I get off but as far as reheating pizza in the air fryer, I feel like it mutes the flavors because the air cooks around it, right? So I feel like it sort of dries the cheese out a little bit. So my preferred way to do it is in the frying pan or the cast iron skillet on a medium heat with a little bit of olive oil in there. Some people put ice in there. I don't like the ice.
Interesting. Ice
provides steam.
Okay.
But like, to me, when you put the lid over it, it traps the moisture in there, and the heat coming from the bottom up replicates how it's supposed to actually cook in the oven. That's my opinion.
Interesting.
I'm very into it. Also, I use the air fryer more than I use the frying pan because it's a pain in the butt.
I use the air fryer for the pizza.
Yeah,
I love it.
So I make all these points, but
Jim, I found out that if you let the pizza, and most air fryer food come to room temp, then put it in the air fryer, especially pizza. So you take a piece of pizza out of the fridge right to the air fryer, like you said, it's going to dry because it's going to heat the outside so fast. The inside is going to be thick and warm. You know what I mean? But let it get room temp, 2 minutes in the air fryer.
Absolutely. And I'll say this from my pizza making days. You should never make pizza with cold dough, ever. Right? It leads to what we call the gum line, and that means raw dough because it's too cold to cook all the way through, and it also leads to a chewier, more leathery, like you have to bite and pull sometimes.
Okay.
A lot of times that's evidence that maybe they're using cold dough going to the oven.
Okay. So I understand.
I used to work at a couple of places that served tough pizza, or a place that served tough pizza, and we're using cold dough. I'd love to go back in time. I did like the pizza, but I'd like to go back in time and see if I liked it more if we used it room temp.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. How are you about with sourdough pizzas?
Sourdough is like actual sourdough because a lot of people it's a thing to call everything sourdough now.
So people lie about it.
Well, it depends because
those bastards.
It's all fermentation, right? I don't want to get too far into
That's
it.
That's okay.
Like there are things called like a Polish or a Biga, which means you take like commercial yeast and you start it. You get it. It's called a starter. You get the fermentation going in like a jar, and it looks like what sourdough would be doing.
Okay.
But a genuine sourdough is not really started by commercial yeast. It's started by like, some people use grapes or something like that to they go sour and then the yeast builds up and that's where it kind of comes from. But sometimes, like I've had people mail me dried sourdough starter that they've created from whatever, rye or whatever it is.
Okay.
And then you try to keep it alive. Like it's a lot of work to do sourdough.
I understand.
Like legit.
Seems like it is. I'm sorry, were you done? I apologize. I'm so bad with this sometimes.
I am not good enough. I don't have the patience or the schedule or the time to do sourdough. And also I've tried it probably 10 different times. I'm still terrified of sourdough.
I can get that. We made dough together.
Yeah, we did.
We made Detroit style dough on the fly at WVIA. That was a lot of fun.
That was a blast.
That was a lot of fun. There was a big pizza buffet there, and I didn't eat all the pizza on my buffet on my tray. I over pizzaed my tray, and then so anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, you did a Detroit style pizza demonstration at the VIA pizza party. So you're on the stage there. You were showing the whole crowd how to make Detroit style pizza, and a lot of people got into it, and the ones that were sitting up there, they were really. I was really into it. You brought me up there to help you make the dough. That was really, really cool. But when we first got there, they gave us a pizza tray, and there was a pizza buffet for the pizza party. All types of places, all the local places were there. A lot of my favorite places were there, and I over pizzaed my tray, and I had nowhere to put my tray down. It was packed in there. I couldn't get a table. And I'm walking around holding the water, holding a tray. I'm wearing my red jacket. I'm just like, I gotta put this pizza somewhere. I put it down somewhere and like it fell on the ground. I was like, oh my God, I waited. Hopefully nobody saw me do that. You know what I mean? But that was a really, really fun time. Do you catch yourself doing a lot of those things a lot of the time? Like a lot of special events? Do you put yourself out there? Do they reach out to you? How does that all work?
So special events are something that I would love to kind of get into. I just really, between work and family and just reviewing pizza, I'm just constantly going, so like scheduling is not my thing, as you might have noticed when we tried to get this whole podcast arranged.
We made it happen. When I wasn't hearing back from you once in a while, I was like, he's just busy, you know what I mean? And then you get back to me, so I wasn't going to bother you, but I was going to eventually overtext you. I was going to call you more than once.
I'm notoriously difficult to schedule, and I frustrate people. I am very sorry about that.
Oh, no, man, listen. We were doing the same thing, man. We weren't getting ready. We were getting ready here, and then we had to do this and do that, and just things happen when they're supposed to happen, bro. You know what I mean?
Here we are.
And I said to myself when you were coming here, I'm like, I bet Jim brings pizza. Because he's the pizza guy. He's going to bring some pizza. Came in, you brought some pizza from your latest review, which you'll be dropping on your page eventually.
Oh yeah.
You brought me a sweatshirt, man. I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? So I was wondering if you'd be interested in doing the saltine cracker challenge. I posted a picture of saltine crackers with butter on my page. I think a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you came across it, but people the nostalgia of that absolutely blew up because I remember sitting at my grandparents, my grandmother, be like, oh, come on, Brian, we'll have a snack. And it would be saltine crackers with butter and then the grape jelly on the side. And grape jelly, butter, and saltine crackers were like the snack growing up. And did you eat those as well when you were growing up?
Oh, yeah. So we used to go to a place called Gin's Tavern in Factoryville. It burned down recently.
Interesting.
And they're rebuilding now.
I think I saw you post about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's terrible.
They're rebuilding now? That's great.
Yeah. So bigger and better than ever. But like that was a piece of my childhood, just kind of, so a lot of people very sad about it. But they would always bring you out the bread, and underneath the bread was a napkin, then all the saltine crackers and the sesame sticks.
Oh,
and,
the sesame sticks.
And I always remember my dad, he would put the butter on the saltine, and I'd be like, oh, yeah. And then I tried it. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like that's living,
It's so good. And I am a salt. I eat salt. I add salt to everything I eat. I don't even taste the food first. It needs salt for me. As long as my blood pressure stays okay, I'm gonna enjoy my Himalayan pink salt. You know what I mean? But I would get the saltine cracker, put the butter on there, and then I would put a shake of the salt. And it was just I had to stay in my kitchen to eat those. But so you agreed to doing the saltine cracker challenge with me. For those that may not know it, the saltine cracker challenge has been around since elementary school at the kids' table in school. I have never seen anyone do it before. A few people that I know said they've done it or seen somebody. I don't believe them. I think there's a better chance of an alien bringing us pizza from outer space than there is to eat 6 saltine crackers in 1 minute. You could eat them one at a time, 2 at a time. You could crush them up in your hand and shove them in your mouth. You know what I mean? But it's 6 crackers in 1 minute. Are you ready?
I am. Now, do you have to swallow all 6 of them? That's the rule?
Okay, has to be
so
clear.
They have to go down.
There could be a little. We're not even going to make it to the 4th one.
Okay.
Bro, all right. Let me grab my phone real fast. Set a timer. And I don't want to be too far from the microphone, but here we are. So, I'm not sure. Bought a big box of saltine crackers. I almost bought Ritz crackers. Absolutely love Ritz crackers.
I do too. Saltines, I think, are the OG of this challenge, though, right?
Oh, yeah. You can't do it. I could probably eat 400 Ritz crackers.
They have a little more buttery. They're less dry, I would say.
All right, Jim. So 6 crackers. Ooh, these are fat crackers, too.
Oh, boy.
6 for you.
Now, can I prime a little bit here? Take a little.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Get some liquid in there. We're gonna do this, and then we'll get going. All right. So I'm gonna get a little sip of water myself.
I mean, it doesn't look that hard.
You can get crumbs all over the place if you want to. Okay. I have a cleanup crew.
All right. Excellent.
I might be the cleanup crew. All right. You ready? Let's do it.
I mean, I guess the only way to do it is just dive right in and go for it, right?
Set the timer. All right. We are rocking and rolling. 1 minute.
Okay. Ready?
That's 1 cracker, 10 seconds. I'm not even done with it yet.
I feel like I might get to 4.
We're almost halfway.
Oh, really?
We're halfway.
I'm a bit of a competitor, so I'm trying to stay ahead of you. Oh, boy.
Hitting the wall, right?
Don't go down.
They're all building up.
I feel like Joey Chestnut. got him in.
You do got him in.
They're not down, though.
Ah,
Like a chipmunk.
I still have 2 left. Now, Jim, for those that aren't watching on YouTube, Jim got all of them in his mouth. He's chewing them, but there's a buildup from every single one in his mouth
I have
still.
a physical pain at the moment here. I don't know how you can improve on your time. I felt like if I stored it in my cheek, I would be able to get some saliva going there, but it just wouldn't happen.
We're drying out at the same time while every cracker is building up from the last one. I appreciate you doing that for me, man.
So is this something we can expect in the future, like a challenge of this kind on your show?
We could definitely come up with some more stuff. And if I could do it, I want to challenge everyone to do this, but we can't let it get too stale. Pardon the pun, you know. But tell you what, I'm hungry, and those crackers are really good. But if there was some butter on there,
A little butter.
maybe that would help a little bit. But anyway, Jim, thank you so much for being on the show, Jim. I appreciate you coming out, making time to come on. I know you're busy, and we share a lot of the same stuff on our pages, but I feel like we're completely different. And I know that we did collabs together. I definitely would like to do more collabs in the future. I don't know if I have crackers in my teeth or not, so I'm sorry to everybody. But how does everyone come into contact with your content online? What are your platforms? All that kind of stuff. What do you do?
So the center of my sort of pizza universe is nepapizzareview.com. That's what I have a passion for. That's where I post all my content. But people know me more from being on Facebook or Instagram at NEPA Pizza Review.
Okay.
Right. So that most people don't even know I have a website or a YouTube channel or Twitter or a TikTok or anything like that. But I'm on all the social outlets, and you can come check me out there.
Awesome, bro. I know, real quick, TikTok's a whole other animal. I try to post on TikTok a lot, try to get that algorithm down. I check out your page on there. You treat TikTok a little bit differently than you do Facebook as far as videos go?
I feel like every platform you have to treat differently because you try to, something plays well on Facebook. I'll post it just to Instagram just because, and TikTok just because I got to keep content going. And I know it's going to be a flop because it's not catchy and quick.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I try. I like to learn. I love to learn. You know, if I had time to do this all the time, I would just immerse myself.
You mentioned you were reading a book on TikTok.
I was reading a book on TikTok.
You mentioned that when we were at Rosario's.
I'm like a serial learner. I do audiobooks, you know, so like
Okay.
if I'm driving somewhere, I just listen. But yeah, I was like, you know what? Let me read a book about TikTok. Now, you know, you're old when you're reading a book about TikTok, right? But I thought, you know, like how can I create content on another platform and reach kind of a different audience? Because every platform is totally different. Like my Instagram is way more male than female. My Facebook audience is way more female than male.
Huh.
And the ages are different because, you know, they kind of break the ages down. Way younger on Instagram, a little bit, a little more advanced age, you know, like on the average on Facebook. It's just so interesting how different the audiences are. And you have to provide totally different content for those audiences.
I get it. You use different. Jim, again, thank you for being on the first episode of Food Fight. And I want to definitely, it's going to be a good year. We'll do some things together. A lot of pizza coming this year. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Need you to come down to Old Forge a little. We need to go to Old Forge together, my hometown, and try some Old Forge pizza together.
Let's do it.
All right, Jim. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Take it easy.
Thank you. This was Food Fight. My name is Brian DiMattia. This was an On the Stacks production.